seated throughout the entire trip, even when I'm stopped, keeping your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the truck at all times. We are going to be going through some rough brush, and a lot of the plants that we see do have thorns on them, and I don't want anyone getting poked. No, little ones are more than welcome to sit on your lap. That's totally fine with me. I actually encourage it. Just make sure they're staying in a seated position on your lap. You are not Rafiki. They are not Simba. This is not the Lion King, guys. It really isn't. So we'll get going here in just a second. We're gonna start our trip in the Little Aturi Forest. The Little Aturi is actually a great place to find animals that use camouflage to protect themselves. So we're gonna wait for that final all clear from the warden, and then we will head on in.
Ai, olha, cuidado com ela. Tô falando.
Alright, so over to our right hand side we're going to see two different animals. There's one up near that bush there in the back that's laying down. That's a yellow-backed duiker. In Afrikaans the word duiker means diver, so they will dive into the bushes whenever they get nervous or scared. And then that larger animal there, that's the okapi. The okapi has striped hind legs that kind of resemble a zebra, but they're not related to the zebra at all. They're actually the closest relative to the giraffe. Little ones need to stay seated for me on their lap. Little ones stay seated, please. Little ones on laps. Seated, please. Little ones on laps. Hey, little ones, yellow shirt, stay seated.
Moça, preocupa aí com a frente. Não. Olha ali o rinoceronte montão. Lá em cima.
Over to our left-hand side. Behind this watering hole here, might be able to find a black rhinoceros. Black rhinos are pretty rare. There are only about 5,000 of them left in the entire world. That is because they are being poached for their horns that contain keratin. Keratin is found in humans. It's actually found in our hair and our fingernails. So take care of your hair and fingernails for me. It's a very, very simple thing you can do. Just make sure when you guys are buying shampoo and conditioner that it doesn't contain keratin.
Vai dar pra passar lá na frente dele. Se ele não decidir vir pra cá, ó. Já não dá pra ver mais. Gente, ele é muito grandão.
Alright, so, as you probably heard from the truck in front of us, coming up here on our left-hand side, we're going to find the bongo. Bongos are known as the ghosts of the forest. There are only about 100 of them left in the entire world. It is actually said that their horns have medicinal value, so they're being poached for them. They're really only commonly found on reserves, just like this one. We'll pull around and get a better view in a second for you guys. Ghosts because of their coloration. Surprisingly, that red is very, very difficult to see, and it camouflages them really, really well. So we are entering the next part of the reserve. It's going to be the Safi River. Sometimes in the Safi River, we're able to find some pretty neat animals, like some Nile hippopotamus, maybe some Nile crocodiles as well.
Hipopótamo, tá lá, ó, lá no canto, lá na frente, hipopótamo. Aí ela, em vez de puxar o carro pra mostrar.
Alright, up here in front of us, on our right-hand side, the Nile hippopotamus. They are nocturnal animals, meaning they will feed at night, eating about 80 to 90 pounds worth of vegetation at that point. Hippos actually have their very own means of communication. It's called a wheeze honk, and it pretty much sounds exactly how you'd expect it to. A wheeze, and then a honk. On that island over there to our left, those are some pink-backed pelicans. They turn a pinkish color during mating season, and that'll help them attract a mate. Their wingspan It can grow to be about 9 to 10 feet in length. That canopy above your heads, it's actually 10 feet across. You see a little bit of an emphasis on how big that wingspan can actually grow to be. So it looks like we are going to have a little bit of a slower safari today. There's that pink-backed pelican. Living its best life.
Ah, fazendo seu showzinho. Que bonitinho. Ah, ela tá vendo que a ponta da asa é cortada. A asa, a perna preta. Aí tem o urubu cheio de graça, ó. Todas as... Não, né, tadinho. Sacanagem.
Alright, so the Nile hippopotamus, they can actually hold their breath for up to 8 minutes at a time. Even when they're asleep, their bodies will just float up to the surface and they'll take a catch breath as need be. They spend a lot of time on the bottom of the river, and that's because they will walk across the bottom instead of swim. It's actually a lot easier for them. And we're coming up here on our left-hand side. We're going to find some Nile crocodiles. Nile crocodiles are some of the strongest predators in Africa, and they can crush up to 1 ton per square inch in their mouths. Fully seated, please. Fully seated. Fully seated. Thank you. Nile crocodiles are some of the strongest predators in Africa. They'll crush up to 1 ton per square inch in their mouths. And they can grow to be about 16 to 20 feet in length. It's about as long as a giraffe is tall. Now, speaking of giraffes, we're actually going to head to where we can see some. It's the next part of the reserve, the savannah. The savannah is home to 90% of mammals that you'll find in Africa. So, once again, there is that animal spotting guide above your heads to help you out. And I'll be sure to help you guys out as much as I can as well. Alright. Over to our right-hand side, we're going to find this tree. That tree is a baobab tree. They're nicknamed the upside-down tree, or the tree of life. They're nicknamed the upside-down tree because it looks like their roots are coming out of the top of them. It's not its roots, though. It's just its branches. Those branches will hold leaves on them for 3 months out of the year. For the other 9 months of the year, they are leafless. They will water in their trunks during that 9 months, so that'll actually help out animals when it comes to the droughts that are inevitable in Africa. They'll poke at the tree trunk with their tusks and horns, getting the water out to hydrate themselves.
É, girafa nem podia vir no carro, né?
Eles são selvagens.
Alright, so over to our right-hand side, the obvious, a Maasai giraffe. I can tell it's a Maasai by looking at its spots. It's a little bit messier looking, rather than the reticulated giraffe that has more netted, uniform-looking pattern to it. Giraffes here on the reserve, they're pretty much seen eating constantly, and they have a really, really good reason for doing so. You have 4 stomachs they need to fill. Now, because they eat so much, they really won't sleep very often. Only about a total of 30 minutes a day. But they'll take that in little power naps. So 2 minutes here and 2 minutes there. They won't take it all at once. Those gray animals right there, grazing on the grass, those are white bearded wildebeests. They'll travel in packs of millions, going about 500 to 1,000 miles per migration. A wildebeest migration is actually so large that the dust from them can be seen from space. And those, oh my gosh, the world is ending scenes in the movies where you see all the animals stampeding, those are wildebeests. So there you go. You guys might notice how everything here on the savannah looks very, very well groomed. That's thanks to the animals. The grass is very well trimmed thanks to the antelope, cattle, and gazelle that like to graze on the grass. Knocked down trees are thanks to the elephants, who are known as the bulldozers of Africa. And the trees are very well trimmed thanks to the giraffes, who like to munch on the leaves. Over to our left-hand side, it's in the back there. It's going to be a spotted hyena. Hyenas are not a part of the canine or the feline species. They're a part of their very own subspecies. It's called the Hyenidae. They are a matriarchal society. That means that the lowest ranking female will still actually outrank the highest ranking male. So in this sense, girls actually do rule. There's one hanging out in the water there. And also in the back there. Over to our left-hand side, that is an Ankole cattle, or Watusi cattle, named after the tribe that domesticated them. They are the only domesticated animals on this reserve. Those horns on their head, they're not as heavy as you would think they might be. They're a honeycomb structure on the inside, so they'll circulate blood flow and cool down the cattle on hot African days. Alright, so up here in front of us we have found some more Maasai giraffe. Did I just tell you about the Maasai giraffe and how many stomachs they have? They have 4 stomachs? Okay, that's what I thought. These safaris honestly just mushed together in my head, so I really don't know what I've told you guys so far. So if I say the same thing twice, please let me know. Yeah, there are 2 baby giraffes there. There's also the Patterson's eland. They're the tallest of the antelope species. Going to be about 6 feet tall at the shoulder. They're also able to jump about 6 feet in the air as well. Alright guys, now there's a little bit of a giraffic jam up here. I'm hearing it on my radio. So we are going to hang out up here next to this giraffe right here. Giraffes do have 7 vertebrae in their neck, just like us humans do. I can't get any closer. This is as close as I can get, guys.
Dá zoom lá no pescoço.
But giraffes do have 7 vertebrae in their neck, just like us humans do. There's about 1 foot each. Ours are about 1 inch each. They have very, very large hearts as well. They can be about 25 pounds. They have that prehensile tongue, which means they're able to grasp on things with their tongue. It also means they're able to lick their own eyeballs if they wanted to. That's how long their tongue can be. So we're gonna go poli-poli here. That actually means slow, right behind this giraffe here, because they are notorious for just kind of cutting in front of you at this time. So that looks like what's about to happen. Okay. So we're gonna go nice and poli-poli here.
Vai moça, vai moça. Tá bom, já entendi.
Traduz aí, Vitória.
Quem fez isso?
Vitória, traduz aí. Eu não entendi. Eu não entendi.
É outra, né? Tem 3 aqui, ó. Essa aqui atravessou e tem a outra ali, ó.
Does anyone know what a group of giraffes is actually called? Think about what they do over everything. They tower over everything. So that's what a group of giraffes is actually called, because they tower over everything. That's a really good question. I'm not sure. I really don't know. I believe there's more than 10, but that's all I know. But we are exiting this part of the reserve, heading into the next part, and I like calling that elephant country.
Essa dona, Vitória.
Alright, so let's see if we can find anything in here. Oh, over to our left in the back there. That's a mandrill. It's kind of the back. Yeah, it's moving around now. Mandrills are the largest monkey species in the world. Fully grown females are about 30 pounds, while fully grown males are about 100 pounds. Mandrills are pretty unique because they have little pockets in the sides of their mouth that actually help them save food for later. And then over to our right hand side, most likely it's a male elephant because he's solitary. Males are kicked out of the herd at a relatively young age of about 13 or 14 when they start showing a bit more aggression in their behavior. Now I do have a little bit of bad news for you guys. The road I was planning on taking with you today is actually closed. The bridge fell a couple days ago. It was the rains down in Africa. So we can't go this way. We are gonna have to use the old service bridge today. Now, lucky for you guys, I actually came out this morning and I refreshed everything. You know, the zip ties, Gorilla Glue, duct tape, and rope that are holding the bridge together. I refreshed it myself. My best friend and I actually came out and refreshed it. So it should be a-okay for us to cross over. We just need to be nice and still as we cross over this, but nothing to worry about, I promise. That's not good. The rope over there broke. Great. Awesome. Okay, alright. Well, that was a really good thing. It's because you have a professional driver, guys. But it looks like we've entered this red clay. And you know, elephants actually love eating this red clay because of the vitamins found in it. So, I'm seeing some test marks up here to our right, and as well as some footprints up here to our left. It's a very, very good sign that some elephants should be nearby. Now, I do actually have a question for you guys. Just go ahead and raise your hands. You're never going to see another person on this truck in another 20 minutes, I promise. How many of you had, or will have a curfew? Anyone a curfew? Just raise your hand if mom says to raise your hand. Okay, well the reason I asked is because elephants have curfews too. During the day, they'll go out and play with their aunts, their cousins, and their grandmas. But then at night, they actually have to be home at a certain time. And, well, that's because Mama Elephant's very protective of her little ones. And personally, I don't blame her. I would be protective too if I was pregnant for 22 months, but that's just me. She also gives birth to a 300-pound baby. Alright, so we'll stop up here and let you guys get any pictures of these elephants that you might want. Now you guys might look at those elephants' tusks. You may notice how one is a little bit bigger than the other on most of them. That's because elephants are left-tusked or right-tusked, much like humans are left-handed or right-handed. And then over here to our left, some greater flamingos. Greater flamingos are the largest species of flamingo in the world, and they'll gain their pink color from the brine shrimp that they eat. That's very, very rich in beta-carotene. So they aren't born pink, they're actually born gray. And it takes them about a year to a year and a half to develop that pink color that they are known around the world for. And a group of them is actually called a flamboyant. Now, as we're entering this next part of the reserve, I do want to take this super quick second and talk to you guys about the Disney Conservation Fund. How it works is you can go to any merchandise location here in Disney's Animal Kingdom and you can say, hey, I want to donate to the Conservation Fund. You can actually donate however much you please. $1, $2, $3, even a single penny. Whatever the case, Disney will actually match every single donation you make dollar for dollar. And all of it goes directly towards animal conservation, towards animals you'll see here in the Walt Disney World Resort, or just around the world. The best part about donating to the Disney Conservation Fund is you get a free complimentary Disney's Animal Kingdom 20th anniversary pin. It's very aesthetic, it's very pleasing and pretty looking. So So you can get one of those at any merchandise location or at select quick service food locations here in the park. Now, as we were rounding this corner, I glanced ahead and I saw up here on the hillside in front of us the world's fastest land mammal, a cheetah. They can run from 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. There's one up on the hill walking around, and let's see, there's one walking towards us as well. They can run from 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. They're able to keep that speed for about 100 yards. Cheetahs are the only wild cats that will purr, much like a domesticated house cat you might have at home. And a group of them is actually called a coalition. And the coalition goes out to hunt. So they go out and hunt during the day. Unlike their big cat cousin that we should be able to see up here in just a second. And that'll be the lion. Now, lions are inactive about 16 to 20 hours a day. So we might see those lions, but they might be asleep. And it looks like there's one asleep up here. Now, a group of lions is called a pride. And most prides will consist of one alpha male and a couple of females. The females will go out and hunt, will pull around in the front, while the males go out while the males stay at home protecting their territory as well as the cubs. The reason why the males do not go out and hunt is actually a very, very simple reason. Their mane gets in the way. It can weigh about 40 pounds on a fully grown adult male. They do have very good vision, so that male lion that was just looking at us, he could most definitely see us. During the day, his vision is equal to that of a human's, and then at night it gets 6 times better, and that helps them when they go out and hunt. Over to our right-hand side, that brown animal that's laying on the ground there, that's a bontebok. The bontebok is pretty unique. At one time, there were only 17 of them left in the entire world. One farmer actually found all 17 and was able to single-handedly save the entire species by placing them all on his farm. It is said that due to habitat loss and poaching is why there were so few of them left in the world. And their closest relative is actually the wildebeest. Tigers are actually in Asia. We're in Africa. If you want to see some tigers, head over to the Maharaja Jungle Trek over in Asia, right near Expedition Everest, okay? Alright, so over to our left, walking in the back there, those are some warthogs. They're the largest burrowing animals in the world. They'll dig their burrows with their long, razor-sharp tusks and actually hide in them tusk out to protect themselves from any predators that might be nearby. Those tusks actually scare away predators. Up in front of us, those are some white rhinoceros. I can tell that they are white rhinos by looking at their mouths. They are very, very wide. In Afrikaans, the word for wide is white. So these were originally white rhinoceros. But after years and years of everyone mishearing it and misunderstanding it, it was finally decided one day by the powers that be that it was going to be a white rhinoceros instead of a white. It's just a little bit easier to say. Now we have one more final stop before I take you guys back to the Harambe village. It's going to be the Magadi Glen. Now the Magadi Glen is the newest part of the reserve, and in my opinion, it's also the prettiest part of the reserve. We're actually going to see this animal that we're going to see in here over to our left-hand side. That is a scimitar horned oryx. They are extinct in the wild, and they can go up to 9 months without drinking water, gaining all the moisture they need from the vegetation that they eat. Those horns on their head are curved back, and they kind of look how a scimitar sword might be shaped. Now we won't be seeing any more animals here on the reserve today, so I'll tell you about some of the nighttime offerings that are here in Disney's Animal Kingdom. One of my favorites is actually Rivers of Light, our nighttime spectacular. There are 3 showings this evening. There's one at 6:30, one at 8, and one at 9:30. It is a beautiful, beautiful show, and it's got music and water, projections, all that really cool stuff. There are no fireworks though, and that is because there are animals nearby and we don't want to scare them in their homes. You can also watch the Tree of Life Awakening. There are showings every 10 to 15 minutes until park closes, or head over to Pandora, the World of Avatar. The world comes to life at night. I really can't speak right now. The world comes to life at night, and it's absolutely gorgeous, and those wait times do go down a lot. Instead of waiting 300 minutes, you'll wait 295. Alright, but do make sure that you guys grab everything you got on the truck with, including your hats, your glasses, your purses, your wallets, your small children, anything that you do not wish to become mine. I suggest you take it with you. Now, frankly, guys, I do not like to say goodbye, because goodbyes are just far too sad and they are far too final. So I actually like to use a Swahili word, and that word is kwaherini, and it means to go well. So my friends, kwaherini, go well and go absolutely wild out there. Have a wonderful rest of your day, wherever your travels may take you. If you guys have any questions about any animals you might have seen out there today, or just about the ride itself, feel free to come up and ask me. My windows are quite literally always open.